eggs are white. And so what happens as they move to the shadow side, particularly this foreground egg is where I see it. Very interesting. I see a real different shadow play. Right here I see a warm. Where's that warm from? It's from here. We're going to take and we're going to bring that a little blue into that color, and I want to almost match the value so that as we move up the egg, it cools off because it doesn't get that nice warm glow. So in essence, what's happening is you're getting a little bit of a cooler feeling up there, a little more neutral. We see it on this egg, we see it back here. It falls away. And then you fall into kind of, for lack of a better word, no man's land in terms of color. It's not necessarily warm and it's not necessarily cool. It's what some people might call mud, but I'm going to call it mauve. And we're going to bring that, and it's kind of a combination of those two colors, and we're going to bring that down in here. Now, how do you mix mauve? Well, let me tell you. You mix a little bit of, you mix kind of a violet, so you're dealing with your red and your blue. Then you can either throw in ochre and white or Naples yellow. And what you're doing is you're graying your violet, and you're lightening it at the same time. Which brings to mind, most paintings are built out of grays. They're really not built out of warm, bright colors or cool colors. They tend to be more mixtures, leaning slightly warm, leaning slightly cool. So we put this little dark snap under the egg, and that's the area that tucks under that no light can get to. I notice it also back in the orange right there. As I look down into the shadow right here, I see a kind of a cool little reflected light. So I'm going to pop that in there a little bit. I don't want to get too strong with it. Pop that in. We'll pop a little bit of it in right in here. We'll move back to the light side of the orange, which has a lot more yellow in it. Whoops, a little bit too much cad red light. I actually just did another stroke I really like. I like that edge. And we've got a light and shadow orange. My lightest spot in the painting, along with a couple of highlights in the flowers, is the egg. Now my Naples yellow is a light Naples yellow, so I can use a lot of light Naples yellow and some white. By warming up my white, I allow the color of the light to affect the white of the egg. I'm actually painting that white as if that white is affected by a color of light, be it sunlight, which is warm, be it skylight, which is blue, be it incandescent light, which is very warm. And we'll come up with the tip of that egg, and then we're going to take this little brush here, and we're just going to kind of soften that edge, just with a super light touch. Just barely letting that brush graze the canvas and give the illusion of it being soft. Now that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to clean your brush, which I just did, and sweep over it. Just sweep over it and let the paint kind of flow together. And sometimes you've got to hit it once and go back and hit it again. It really depends upon the kind of painting you really want this to be. If you want a tighter, more refined painting, if you're just chiseling it out, you may just smack it in there and leave it alone, not worry about it. I'm going to go a little lighter in the center part of that egg. I don't want it to look shiny, but we hit a little bit more of a light. And you know, I'm almost at the point of the eggs where they're almost done. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in, I think probably get a little bit more snap there, and then I see a little bit of that orange popping right, and we're going to go back and paint in some of the transparent aspects of this, cutting through. So now we see a little bit of the tablecloth through the glass. I hate to leave these little white spots. That's part of the background, and that's part of the background.